Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now.
At the School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, we have a commitment not only to study the basic science of oceanography and the atmosphere and climate change, but also to apply that knowledge to problems that concern New Yorkers and particularly Long Islanders. I'm head of what's called the Stony Brook Storm Surge Research Group. We do storm surge science. We're trying to understand how these surges are created, how they're developed, the dangers they represent, and the storms that produce them in the first place. And we try and bring scientific skills, the best science that there is, to work with program managers, elected officials, and those whose job it is to make our communities safer and more resilient. It's a privilege to live on the ocean's edge, but we're beginning to understand now more and more clearly that it's becoming a dangerous place to live, and it's going to get worse. Sea level is rising here on Long Island about 1 foot every 100 years. Now that's not due to climate change, that's due to the last ice age. The actual East Coast is sinking rather than the ocean coming up. So that's happening anyway. That's, if you like, the backdrop. But now with an increased burning of fossil fuels in our cars, in our factories, our buildings, we're warming the atmosphere. And that's going to accelerate. So we're going to see, over the lifetime of our children, our grandchildren, sea level rising much more rapidly than just the 1 foot per century. By the end of this century, it may be 3 or 4 feet higher than it is now. Doesn't sound much, but I tell you, that's going to make a huge difference to flooding. It will take storms that are a lot less severe than Sandy to do the same damage that Sandy did last year. Scientifically speaking, the city of Long Beach can do several things. One, they've rebuilt their boardwalk, a magnificent long structure, but they need to build up the sand dunes higher. The sand dunes need to be built up to the level of at least the boardwalk. And in addition, the city is starting to think about storm barriers at the 2 entrances, at Fire Island at the eastern end and Jones Inlet at the western end, to stop the water coming in around the back, because a lot of the flooding in Long Beach and elsewhere during Sandy occurred through what we call the back bays around the back. And the only way to do that is through large gates that will close on emergency situations only, close for a few hours to keep that surge out. This is not something new. In New England, in Stamford, Connecticut, in Providence, Rhode Island, and New Bedford, Massachusetts, those 3 cities have retractable barrier systems. They've built up their seawalls. They don't have sand dunes like we do here, and during Sandy, the mayors of those 3 cities closed those gates, and guess what? There was no damage. Well, a sand dune is a natural form of a wall, and if it's got grasses growing on it, it's got vegetation to hold it together, it can withstand a huge attack from monster waves. But it's got to be done properly. If a half-hearted attempt of building a few feet there and a few feet there of extra sand is not really going to help you. Students who are interested in coming to Stony Brook to study marine and atmospheric sciences, environmental studies, and marine conservation can go to the university website and look up SOMAS, School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences, and you will find us all there.